Alright, what it is, Danny X. I am back here with Brooklyn Lou, and he is a atheist, and he's having a conversation about morality with a Christian called Gothics TV. That's the handle, and we are gonna jump right on into this right here. Now, I have had Brooklyn Lou on my podcast before, the Theology Council. I have been on Brooklyn Lou's channel. I like Lou because he's just trying to have real ass conversations with people, and he keeps it very respectful as long as you're respectful. But he ain't here to take no one's shit either, type deal. You know, Brooklyn Lou's cool as hell. Check him out. So anyway, let's get right on up into this. I'm a non-Abrahamic, true monotheist, and I believe that there is no such thing as objective morality. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. All morality can only come from a consciousness, a mind, a perceiver. That inherently makes it subjective. Now, people like to colloquially call a seeming consensus on moral behavior, they like to call that objective, but that's not actually objective. They are misusing the term objective when they like to say objectively this, that, or the other is wrong, right? But check it out. I can also prove to Christians, especially, that Jews too. I don't know enough about Islam to prove anything to them yet about their shit, but I'm working on it. So Christians and Jews, I can prove that they are moral relativists. How? Well, that's really easy. How? Well, first it is best. Here we fucking go. Just hit the play button. It's best hit the play button.
You do. And I think that is the dilemma that I'm trying to expose is your version of morality is going to look drastically different from this atheist, that atheist. And so if we're all doing things what's right in our eyes, then how is anything objectively wrong?
Then you get into...
See, it's just the way she phrased that. Then it's begging the question. It's assuming the answer. How is anything objectively wrong? That's what we're talking about here, Miss Thang, is we don't believe in objective right or wrong. It is all relative. It is relatively right or wrong. And you can prove this easily just by looking at every country's laws. They are all different. On every country has to deal with and experience these things that you're talking about, grapes, murders, lying, stealing. All countries deal with these things, but they all have different laws to deal with them, which represent their subjective, relative perspective on the issues. And not only that, the point I was trying to make before it cut out on me earlier is all, at least Jews and Christians are relative moralists, because as soon as you bring up that Yahweh breaks every single commandment that he enforces on others, you will have two different parties in reaction to that. You will have one that says, no, he doesn't. Those are the ones that don't even know their goddamn holy books. Those are the ones that don't even know their Bibles. Then you will have the other ones that will automatically go into apologetics as to why it's okay for Yahweh to break the commandments which he imposes upon the rest of us. Okay, so right there, if you are one of those who knows that Yahweh does break the commandments, I mean, I've got other videos where it details exactly, Yahweh and Jesus lie, they steal of it. They covet, they kill, breaks all the damn commandments themselves. So, if you are one of those who are making up justifications as to why it's okay for Yahweh and Jesus to break their own commandments, then right there, inherently, you are being subjective. Now, I'm going to let these motherfuckers talk.
These words, right? Objective and subjective. Mm-hmm. These are words and they have meanings. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're not just, used for cliches. They have actual meaning.
Absolutely, I believe
that. And morality, all right, is subjective. That's just, it has to be. There is no other way around that. It just is. Mm-hmm. All right, you could pretend it's not. You can make believe it's not, but it's subjective. Even if
as co-creators, you have the power to role play an artificial objective morality if you want, if that makes you feel better about it. As a co-creator, you have the power to role play sin, hell, evil, devil, demon. You have that power to role play and try to, create these things within your own world. You have that power.
Suppose you're correct and there is a God, and this God...
Excellent point by Lou right here. Listen up, y'all. Excellent point by Lou.
Makes morality. He says you must do this and that's moral. You shouldn't do that and that's immoral. If that is true, the author, the mind behind morality is God, and it is subjective to the mind of God. So even if that is morality, is still subjective, and it is without a question, like undeniably in every single way you can look at it, it is always subjective when a human being thinks about something. Because when a subject thinks and makes a decision, like we all do every day on morality, that is without...
She does not like this point. You can see it on her face, but because that is a very good point. That there is no such thing as objective morality. For all these Christians trying to say objective morality, if you are still basing it on the consciousness of your perceived God, that is still basing it relatively to that consciousness, which is basically the point that Brooklyn Lou is making.
Doubt, subjective. So morality is subjective, whether it comes from God or whether it comes from a person. And that Gothics is whether we like it or not. That's
Can I ask you, Brooklyn? Okay, so it seems that you have an issue with the word objective. Do you believe?
No, y'all have an issue with the word objective. It's like Brooklyn Lou. The very first point he made before he went on this line of thinking is words have an actual meaning. Okay. Now, when you're saying objective, that means totally bereft of subjectivity. And when you are trying to use